Documentary is again brought to you by the Republic of Singapore Air Force.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is a briefing for exercise Thunder Club. In this exercise, we will have the hunter flying the enemy aircraft. Remember, this is the enemy. They will be based at Victoria Airfield. Our F-5 will be used to defend our friendly forces from air attack, operating in southern Cumberland within the vicinity of Kau Noi Air Base. The Skyhawk will be used to support our ground forces in the defense of southern Cumberland. This joint operation will be conducted from 0700 hours to 1730 hours tomorrow. StartX time is 0630 hours. The code word Hatari will be transmitted for authentication. The F-5 will go on ground alert from then on. At 0830 hours, helicopters will take off and commence Operation Angkat. At 0930 hours, a Charlie 130 will commence a tactical parallel drop of supplies at Kau Noi Airfield. The hunters will simulate attacks between 0700 hours to 1130 to harass our friendly forces. During this period, our radar station will monitor any movement and scramble F-5 aircraft to intercept the incoming bogies and alert our missile and gun units against possible air attacks. At the request of friendly forces, we will
teamwork. That's what it's all about in the Air Force. A whole lot of specialists working together for a common goal. It's at a time like this that it comes home to you. You start out as a bunch of individuals, and the Air Force teaches you, trains you, molds you into a team. You become effective alone, and much more effective as a group working together. That's how it happened for us. Right from that first day, you realize that you've got a lot in common with your fellow cadets. You want to be the best. You want to be successful in your own specialist area. The Air Force knows this too, and they use these common objectives as they begin to give the group a real sense of purpose. They bring out the best in you and show you how to use your abilities to the best advantage.
Carry on. From the start, the recruits are made to feel they are part of the Air Force team. At their orientation night, where senior cadets and officers are their hosts, they meet in a very informal atmosphere. It's a chance for them to get to know about Air Force life firsthand and to chat to the people they're going to be working with. A chance to discuss their future with officers who know what's in store and are only too willing to pass on their experiences and knowledge. This gives the cadets the reassurance that there's always a friendly helping hand when they need it. They know there's a lot of hard work ahead of them, but this night puts them in the right frame of mind to start.
Sit down, please.
Lines up. Right. Course 42, strength 34, 33 presents up.
Carry on, please.
One, sit, easy.
Gentlemen, welcome once again to the school. My congratulations to you for your being selected for the course. By your selection, you have shown us that you have the prerequisites in terms of qualifications, physical fitness, and aptitude for the job. You should therefore take pride in the fact later on you will be briefed on the various schemes we have in the school that are designed to help you solve your problems, whether they be work-related or personal ones. Gentlemen, I would like to conclude by stressing that in order to succeed on the course, you must be prepared to give up your best at all times. If you have difficulties, you must not lose sight of what you are aiming for. Remember, we are always around to help you. I wish you all the best in your training.
This might seem like a strange place to begin an Air Force career, but it's an important start, especially for those cadets who are about to undergo pilot training. In about 21 days of concentrated activities, with expert instructors to guide them, recruits learn a wide range of survival techniques that could be responsible for saving their lives one day. Safety is the key to all these activities, and as a precaution, special safety lines are used at all times. The whole course is geared up to test the leadership abilities of the recruits, build their confidence, and promote physical fitness. At the end of it all, some very important lessons have been learnt, and the recruits are ready to meet the not so physically taxing, but equally demanding learning process of their individual Air Force careers. For pilot recruits, training starts with initial ground school, where the vital theory of flight, aerodynamics, and meteorology are the first things they learn. Their range of knowledge must include the many different flight instruments and their functions, how an aircraft is expected to handle in various conditions, and what can be expected of different types of aircraft. They're also expected to have a working knowledge of engines and navigation, and to learn the international rules of the air and airmanship. As an extension of the classroom, there are practical lessons to be learned. Water survival techniques, where pilots are taught how to use Mae Wests, turn their flying suits into a buoyancy device, and how to use life rafts should they find themselves in an emergency situation in the sea. Here, pilot cadets are in a decompression chamber, which lets them experience the effects of flying under pressurized and depressurized conditions at altitude, without leaving the ground. A medical officer is in the chamber with them, and outside the medical team supervise the whole procedure. The red lights on the panel are monitoring the breathing of each individual cadet. It takes months of intensive preparation and groundwork before the pilot cadet is ready to take to the air. First with his instructors, and then on his own.
You spend many hours in the air with your flight instructors. They build your confidence all the time, and they make you analyze your mistakes. I guess they figure you know the theory, and they want to see you put it into practice. They seem to know instinctively when you're ready for your first solo flight. And there's a great sense of personal achievement when your instructor tells you it's time. You know he's satisfied with your performance on many levels, and you don't want to let him down. You've got your pride after all. Paya Laba ground, Falcon 931, taxi 1, POB for circuits.
Falcon 931, clear the taxi for runway 20.
What's it like? Well, suddenly that familiar face in the seat next to you is gone. You're alone. You're excited and worried all at the same time. But the excitement seems to win out. And after you finish your pre-flight check of the aircraft, you put your months of theory and training into practice. The feeling is hard to put into words, and I'm sure every pilot has his own version. But as you think about all the things you have to do, and how you're responsible for your safety and an expensive modern aircraft, you do realize how important the teamwork is. There are lots of people on the ground to guide you, help you, and they all want you to come out on top. It's a fantastic experience, and one that stays with you for a long time. And when you come down after the first solo, you've achieved one of your biggest ambitions. Your classmates are there to share it with you, and this is their way of saying, well done. You know you've made it, and it feels great.
Every man plays a vital role in today's RSAF. Each one is a trained expert in his vocation, and the Air Force utilizes advanced and technically sophisticated equipment to make sure each person knows his job thoroughly, like the air traffic controller, who is responsible for the safe movement of aircraft, both on the ground and in the air. Like the ATC, the air defense controller, who guides our fighters to their targets, is constantly alert and ready to make vital decisions in a split second. Maintenance is a very important area of Air Force operations. Only with comprehensive training and a thorough understanding of engines and aircraft can these men keep today's Air Force fully operational and effective. Air maintenance personnel are the men responsible, and their knowledge covers all aspects of aircraft, engines, and related equipment. It's not an easy task, because the safety of pilots is in their hands. They're important members of the team, and many people depend on their expertise. The Air Defence Artillery, or SARDA, provides an air defence umbrella in times of hostility. The range of responsibilities for SARDA personnel include ground-to-air gunnery, ground-to-air missile operation, and ground defence coordination. SARDA fully supports fighter aircraft in the event of an enemy engagement and gives protection for vital ground installations. Another supporting role in our nation's defence system is the helicopter pilot. Helicopters play key roles in water rescue, troop and supply movement, and are also used in times of civil emergency for difficult rescue operations. As you can see, the pilot must use all of his skills at these times and not only know how to fly the helicopter, but also experience rescue from the victim's point of view. In this way, he is totally conversant with the part he plays as a member of the Air Force team. Although there is much to learn for the cadets, whatever their vocation, it's not all work. There's plenty of time for them to relax and spend leisure hours with friends and family. Sporting and recreational facilities are just some of the benefits cadets can take advantage of. Once the cadets have graduated and become operational, their individual futures are in their hands. Their own ability determines their advancement, and they are constantly learning and improving their skills.
After you've got your wings, your fighter aircraft training begins. You learn about the type of aircraft you'll be flying, and before you actually fly, you train on a simulator. It handles just like the real aircraft, and a computer registers everything you do. You might think that getting your wings is the end, but it's really just the beginning.
These men are professionals. Each one is aware of his role and how it affects and supports the other members of this dedicated team as they carry out their duties in the defense of Singapore.
That concludes the briefing for exercise Thundercloud. But before we finish, do you have any questions?
Sir, what will happen if mission 406 is delayed by weather?
A backup mission will be launched using contingency plan B. I stress that there must be no compromise in safety standards. Safety is paramount. Thank you, gentlemen, and have a good exercise.
The team is now fully briefed on the exercise, and each man is ready to do his part. All units are now on standby, and the aircraft are armed. Air Defence Control is the first to monitor the hostile forces on radar and gives the alert for exercise Thundercloud to begin.
Unidentified aircraft, sector Golf, scramble mission 01. Mission 01 combined, clear scramble takeoff, runway 36, QNH 298 surface wind 15059 knots. Mission 01 combined, clear climb 3,000 feet on takeoff and contact departure, start sequence.
Mission 01, 3,000 feet.
request of friendly forces, we scramble the Skyhawk to give fire support.
Mission 01, climb on heading 045 to Angel 25.
Mission 01045, Angel 25. Clear number 3. Number 3 clear.
At 0830 hours, helicopters will take off and commence Operation Angkat.
Pathfinder Mission 66 approaching Delta 7. Mission 66 clear to land. Pathfinder Mission 66 RTB. 66, Roger.
At 0930 hours, Charlie 130 commenced the tactical parallel drop of supplies at Kaunoi Airfield.
10 seconds to drop zone. Rain on. Rain on. Good, gone.
Intercept the incoming bogies and alert our missile and gun units against possible air attacks.
All guns to automatic. Countdown on target. Ready to launch. Mission 01, code 270. Mission 01, code 270.
Your target 2 o'clock, 8 miles.
01, heading home. Touch, wake up. Flash, flash. Breaking away. Mission 01, clear to land. Mission 01.
There's a lot of personal satisfaction when an exercise like Thundercloud is successfully completed. You know you've done your best, and you've done your part of supporting the team's effort. You have to be good as an individual, no matter what you do. But you have to be aware that you can't do it alone. Others depend on what you do, and you depend on others taking their responsibility seriously. It all boils down to teamwork. I guess that's what it's all about.
that was a repeat telecast of RSAF, Teamwork in Action. It was again brought to you by the Republic of Singapore Air Force.